for me, we've been saying this for years. It's more than a carnival. It is an expression of who we are. It is a celebration of who we are. It is also a vision of who we can be for the rest of the world. When you see our creative people at work, our musicians, our singers, our songwriters, our mask makers, the people, our promoters and producers, these people, they're all creative people. Even the persons who have stalls, your vendors and whatever, they're all creative people. One of the things that we first have to do is to understand that crop over is not the fat. Crop over is not, as you said, the walking out. It is not the drinks. Crop over is people. Crop over is an expression. Crop over is who you are. And so once you begin to view it in a complete different light, then you're more invested in being able to go out to a fair, to go out and have a good time, to contribute to making sure that our top artists are well paid, that they continue to make great music, that our literary people who bring out books and whatever else around that time can find a space where we celebrate them. And it has to expand. We must first and foremost see crop over as a time when we express ourselves, but we express that which is excellent. Because a lot of people spend a lot of time looking in the newspapers for the things that are not so good. And I'm saying, under my watch, we must begin to focus heavily on excellence. And that is what Barbados has always been about. You know, our motto says, pride and industry, you know, how to be a credit to your nation. And I'm saying that you must put these things into that festival that we call Crop Over to get the best of Barbados out there.
My name is Rashida Burnett. The name of my business is Jara Creations. The name of my band is Mystical, and it's a junior Kaduma band. I actually liked fashion from the time I was a little girl, and I also like making clothes, so that's where I got it from. I wanted to have a junior Kaduma band for like 2 years. This is 2 years. I wanted to do it, so this year I decided why not give it a try. That is why I started it. I'm expecting to have about 50 children. I just want it to be small because it's a start, and I just want to get my brand out there and my creativity out there.
Yeah, my name's Cole Yates, and I'm a project manager slash production manager slash production designer. I actually work for a company out of the States called DK Production Design. So I've been working with them for 3.5 years, and we are a production design company. So anything you see at a show, lighting, video, stage, special effects, we design it, build it, operate it. Kirk Brown's one of my best friends, and we're business partners. I'm his production manager as well. And then, you know, he just brought me in on this. And there were some talks, you know, about Rise, and it was formed. And then he brought me in, and, you know, hopefully this will be one of many projects. But yeah, I've been along here with Rise for the whole thing. Now, there's a lot involved when putting on a production, you know. Obviously, there's sound, there's so many elements. I don't necessarily deal with sound, but in terms of all the other creative and visual aspects, that's where I come into play. And there's a lot to take into consideration, you know. These shows don't just happen, you know. It all starts with, you know, we could have a sit down with an artist, and they might have a vision or an idea of what they want it to look like, but they don't really know how to. They don't really know what they want, so we sit down with them and kind of get it out of them.
I saw a friend of mine in a t-shirt that like had the shoulders cut off and had like chains on it and stuff, and I was like, that looks really cool. Like, and I said, I wonder how they like cut the shirt. I mean, I saw that it was cut, but I was like, I wonder how they figured out how to cut it. So 1 year for 4 days, I can't remember which year to be honest. But my friend was like, I want my shirt cut. I was like, so you telling me so far? Like, she was like, man, just use the scissors and cut the thing. So then from that year, then the band that we jumped with, my friend knew the organizers, so they contacted her and was like, well, remember you and your friend had your shirts cut, so can you come and do that for our customers this year? And she was like, I will ask her and see. So I said, yeah, no problem. And I cut a few shirts that year, and then again, people were like, oh, your shirt looks so, how you get your shirt do so? And it was like, a girl cut it for me. Because I was there, they were like, look, she did. So then, every year after that, people will come to me and be like, I got your number from XYZ. So, you know, the reality is you don't have to be a band owner or a major fat promoter to make money. Like I said, if you have an idea in your head, run with it, try it, you never know what can happen.
This year when I had the opportunity to, I asked Tremaine, outside of the name being awakened, like let's look at it from a different angle this year, as in what is it that we are awakening to? And I think based on that, then that really set the tone for the whole event, and that is how basically the whole concept came up for this year, you know?
Well, I think it's extremely important for Barbados for sure because we don't manufacture anything. I think all you need to do is capitalize on it and try to enhance what works for basically.
Can we expect to see awakening continuing for years to come?
Well, as long as my team survives, basically.
So let no man tell you what to do.
Right after the band Electric dissolved, I had the opportunity to play with John King and Jegna through Mr. Bernard Yearwood. He gave me the opportunity to perform with them, and we had the opportunity to travel, play along the West Coast, and John shaped me and molded me in many ways. So did Bernard as a musician in terms of the business side, understanding networking, understanding the application of music, understanding what is required if you want to be a professional musician. So I give a lot of credit to Jegna, Bernard, and John King for their contribution. I guess being afforded the opportunity to teach lessons because of your qualification, that's one way, one revenue stream that you can look at. The production side of it, of course, there's revenue there gained, and also the live playing. I wouldn't regard myself as a solo player. I prefer session playing. Playing in the band and jamming in a session band, etc. So there are lots of avenues that you can use to make music as a musician in Barbados. I think it'd be a lot better. I wouldn't say we have a music industry as yet. We have a very, very long way, a lot of infrastructure to be put in place before we can get to that point.
I was not in competition for a good while after the band. You know, we started the band and we were traveling a lot. But then when I started back just after the band disbanded, and of course, you know, joining a tent again, you're back in the competition element, and obviously now we've got competitions starting, well, outside of the Piggity Crop. You then had the Party Monarch competition, so I started entering that as well. And to tell the truth, you know, outside of doing several tents before, what used to really pay you during crop over, right? When you came out, you performed, you were paid for each performance. The party scene started, so then, you know, you obviously had to find work in fetes and that kind of stuff. Then the tent started doing less work, so the biggest paydays were obviously the competitions, and once you did well, you did well. I always say it wasn't very hard, that's the truth, because I think I got in at a time when like everybody was excited about the next new thing that was coming, the next new act that was on the scene, and the hotel industry was open up, the nightclub industry was popping, you know, and all kinds of stuff was happening all around the island. So I mean, it was a business for all of us, because if you were in a band, you invested in your own equipment, then you invested in your own transportation, or there were guys out there who were specifically picking up bands and transporting them from venue to venue, that kind of stuff. So there was a lot of stuff happening right in the music industry that everybody, you know, was able to eat a food.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We sent this message tonight because last year, Kaduma Day, there was all kinds of shooting and thing on the highway. And yet, and the Shopping Festival, we been working on that in 2018. It's